Hello, good morning everyone. We are from group of 7, and today we will presentation for material of discourse in translation. We have theme of discourse and intertextual. Okay. The first, what is this discourse? Discourse refers to written or spoken communication, encompassing how language is used in specific social, cultural, or professional context to convey meaning. Example include academic, lectures, political speeches, casual conversation, news report, or workplace emails, with styles changing based on audience and purpose. Jadi itu wacana itu merujuk kepada komunikasi kita, bisa tertulis atau lisan, yang mencakup bagaimana bahasa itu digunakan dalam konteks sosial, budaya, atau profesional tertentu untuk menyampaikan makna yang dimaksud. Contohnya misalnya dalam kuliah akademik, terus pidato politik, percakapan santai, pasti beda ya. Terus laporan untuk berita, pasti itu lebih serius ya. Dan email tempat kerja dengan gaya yang berubah berdasarkan audiens dan tujuannya. Oke. Language is never just about words, it's about who is talking, where they are, and why they are talking. When you enter a specific word, like a hospital, a law court, a video game lobby, or a university, you have to use language in a specific way to be understood. That's why of using language is discourse. Example, context, the setting. Example, formal, office, casual, home, determines the language style. The purpose, the intent behind the communication. Example, to persuade, inform, or interact. And social function, how language shapes power, dynamic, and public opinion. Simple example, if a doctor say the patient is stable, that is medical discourse. If a horse trainer say the horse is stable, that is agricultural discourse. The word is the same, but the course change the entering meaning. Di sini ada contoh dalam dua lingkungan berbeda. Yang di atas itu adalah ruangan bedah. Jadi dokter itu meminta tolong scalpel please. Dia meminta pisau tolong. Dan yang kedua di bawah itu adalah dalam jamuan makan. Scalpel please. Dalam saat dua lingkungan berbeda, tapi ada satu permintaan yang sama. Tapi maknanya itu berbeda karena tergantung dengan lingkungan di sekitar kita berada. Oke. Gambar kedua adalah di sini yang tadi saya jelaskan ya, medical discourse. Dalam dua lingkungan berbeda itu ada satu wacana yang sama. Misalnya dalam satu lingkungan medical discourse, dalam lingkungan rumah sakit medical discourse, the patient is stable. Dan dalam lingkungan yang berbeda, agricultural discourse, the horse is stable. Jadi itu same word, different discourse, different meaning. Jadi wacana sama, kata-katanya sama, maksudnya kata-katanya sama, wacananya berbeda, artinya pun berbeda. Untuk medical discourse itu misalnya the patient is stable. Jadi pasien ini keadaannya itu stabil gitu loh. Dan mungkin tidak ada penyakit yang parah. Dan dalam lingkungan satu lagi dalam satu lingkungan agricultural discourse, the horse is stable. Jadi pengurus kuda itu memberitahu kalau kuda itu stabil. Maksudnya kudanya itu stabil bisa dipakai untuk latihan berlatih kuda, atau bisa dipakai untuk sebagai kendaraan gitu loh. Jadi kuda itu stabil, tidak ada gangguan, maksudnya tidak dalam kondisi yang biasanya kuda itu ada gangguan sedang bad mood, jadi itu dia tuh tidak mau dipakai gitu loh. Nah mungkin kuda itu tidak sedang lelah gitu. Jadi kalau lelah kan pasti bad mood. Nah kuda itu stabil, tidak lelah dan kondisinya itu bisa dipakai untuk berkendara atau dalam latihan. Oke. So next, function of discourse. First, conveyor of information, expository narrative. Maksudnya adalah untuk sebagai wacana itu dipakai. Tujuan wacana itu tujuan wacana pertama adalah sebagai penyampai berita atau memberitahu pembaca atau pendengar tentang suatu hal. Misalnya dalam televisi news, newspaper, artikel, textbook, or report, or visit. Misal dalam situasi since morning, traffic on Jalan Sudirman has been observed to be congested due to road repairs in the left lane. Drivers are advised to seek alternative roads. Jadi itu adalah berita lalu lintas. Jadi sejak pagi itu arus lalu lintas di Jalan Sudirman itu terpantau padat, melayap karena adanya perbaikan jalan di jalur kiri. Pengendara dihimbau mencari rute alternatif lain. Jadi jadi tujuan wacana itu yang pertama adalah sebagai informasi untuk pembaca agar lebih bisa mengetahui keadaan keadaan yang harus mereka ketahui. Yang kedua adalah conveyor of idea. Convey the idea, the goal is to convince other of an idea or point of view. Tujuannya itu meyakinkan orang lain tentang suatu gagasan atau sudut pandang. Misalnya opinion article in newspaper, state address, pidato kenegaraan, atau scientific essay, misalnya karya ilmiah. Contohnya, the use of artificial intelligence (AI) in the education sector must be strictly regulated. Otherwise, student creativity risks being reduced due to reliance on instant answer. Ini sebagai opini ya. Maksudnya penggunaan kecerdasan buatan AI itu di sektor pendidikan harus diatur dengan ketat. Jika tidak, kreativitas siswa berisiko menurun karena ketergantungan pada jawaban instan. Ini termasuk dalam wacana opini. The third function of discourse is social interaction tools atau dialog. The goal is to interact, build relationship, or exchange information directly. Tujuannya adalah untuk berinteraksi, membangun hubungan, atau bertukar informasi secara langsung. Contohnya misalnya percakapan sehari-hari ya, everyday conversation, debates, interview, wawancara, atau WhatsApp, chat dalam WhatsApp ya, chat dalam WhatsApp. Misalnya dalam situasi besok pagi jam 9 rapat ya. Itu misalnya A berbicara dalam chat WhatsApp nih. Besok pagi jam 9 rapat ya. Tuh. Terus B menjawab, ya jadi, tapi jangan lupa bawa draft presentationnya. Nah, jadi wacana ini dapat disampaikan melalui media lisan atau media tulisan. Kalau media lisan itu kan bisa langsung ya, antara person to person. Kalau untuk tulisan bisa dengan WhatsApp. The fourth function of discourse is conveyor of feelings, emotion, expressive. Di sini maksudnya adalah penyampai perasaan emosional. The goals is to express the writer speaker's feelings such as sadness, joy, or admiration. Tujuannya adalah untuk mengekspresikan perasaan penutur seperti kesedihan, kegembiraan, atau kekaguman. Example, love letters, diaries, poems, or social media caption. Situasinya misalnya, ini seperti ungkapan perasaan dalam poem ya, puisi. This evening feels lonely. The gentle breeze carries the scan of all memories, making me miss home. Maksudnya senja ini rasanya sepi. Angin berhembus pelan, membawa aroma kenangan lama, membuatku rindu suasana rumah. Jadi ini mengungkapkan perasaan yang dirasakan oleh si autor, dituliskan ke dalam poem. The last function of discourse is persuasive tools. Maksudnya adalah the goals is to influence the conversation partner or reader to take a certain action. Tujuannya adalah untuk mempengaruhi mitra tutur atau pembaca untuk melakukan tindakan tertentu. Example, product advertisement, election campaign, or health slogans. Maksudnya adalah seperti contohnya iklan produk, kampanye pemilu, atau slogan kesehatan. Situasinya, come on, protect your family from dengue fever mosquitoes. Ayo lindungi keluargamu dari nyamuk demam berdarah. Apply the 3M+, drying, cover, and recycle what's now. Public serving announcement, terapkan 3M plus, misalnya menguras, menutup, dan mendaur ulang sampah sekarang. Ini termasuk wacana dalam iklan layanan masyarakat. Jadi dalam iklan layanan masyarakat itu dia tuh mengajak wacana itu mengajak pembaca untuk melakukan sesuatu tindakan. Kalau iklan masyarakat ini sesuatu tindakan yang positif ya. Oke. Next, my partner Kaisa will continue this presentation.
Okay, thank you BSC. I am Sabina. I will continue this presentation.
The next one, types of discourse. Types of discourse based on purpose. The first one is narrative discourse or story. Describes a series or events in chronological order. For example, in novels, short stories, biographies.
The second one is descriptive discourse or image.
Describe on an object, place, or person in detail so that the reader can see or feel it. For example, description of the beauty of a beach and description of a person's physical characteristics. And the third one, expository discourse or exposition, explain or provides information about a topic to increase the reader's knowledge. For example, new articles, procedural texts, scientific papers, lectures, or guidebooks. And argumentative discourse or opinion contains the author's ideas, thoughts, or opinion accompanied by evidence and data to convince the reader. For example, editorials, essays, debates, or opinion articles. The last one, persuasive discourse or invitation, aim to influence, persuade, or invite readers to do something. For example, advertisement, political campaign, invitation speeches, or brochures. And we have type of discourse based on the medium of delivery. They are written discourse. Written discourse is conveyed through writing, usually more structure, length, and adheres to language rules. For example, books, newspaper articles, laws. And the next one is oral discourse, conveyed orally or directly and received by listening. For example, dialogues, telephone conversation, or speeches.
Next, we have type of discourse based on the number of participants. The first one, monologue discourse, is spoken by one person without direct response from the listener. For example, speeches, sermons, or lectures. And the second one, dialogue discourse, involves two people who exchange roles, like speakers and listener. For example, interviews, everyday conversation, doctor-patient discussions. The last one, there is polylogue discourse, involves more than two speakers. For example, group discussion, meetings, and deliberation.
Okay, the last one, types of discourse based on form or structure. First one is prose discourse, such as narrative, descriptive, expository, argumentative, and persuasive. And poetic discourse oriented toward beauty, connotative style. For example, poems, rhymes, verses, or songs. And dramatic discourse in the form of stage dialogue. For example, play scripts or theoretical dialogues. And the next one is intertextuality. What is intertextuality? So intertextuality is the shaping of text meaning by another text, either through deliberate compositional strategies such as quotation, allusion, colloq, plagiarism, translation, pastiche, or parody, or by interconnection between similar or related works received by an audience or reader of the text. And intertextuality is the idea that no text is an island. It means that every message we create is actually a mix of other things we have seen, heard, or read before. And the word intertextuality sounds very academic, but you usually use it in every single day without realizing it. We have the example of intertextuality in everyday life. On the picture, there is source text versus new text that we already modified for the intertextuality that we use in everyday life. There is Avengers Assemble, which is the movie quote from the Avengers 2012 film, and the original rallying cry in a superhero discourse context. Then we use it, Avengers Assemble, in casual speech in a game night discourse context, and the quote is used as a joke to mean everyone focus and calm. The discourse is casual conversation between friends playing a game, and the intertextuality a direct quote from a Marvel movie. Because why your friend isn't just saying everybody get over here, because they're using a famous line from the movie to make the moment feel more epic. So you only understand the vibe because you know the movie.
Hi, and I'm Kaisa, and I will explain you about functions of intertextuality. The first one is building dialogue and relationships between texts. Intertextuality functions as a bridge connecting one text to another, creating a dynamic dialogue that enriches meaning. For example, the Lestari novel, Aroma Karsa, combines mythological elements such as Mount Lawu and ancient legends with modern stories, creating a unique and deeper new narrative. And the second is producing new meaning. Through a process of reference and transformations, new texts can reinterpret old texts, resulting in deeper layers of meaning. For example, Seth Grahame-Smith's novel Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. The third is new processes and meanings. This text directly references and uses Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice, but adds elements of zombie fiction. This is not simply a comedy, but an intertextual parody that produces new meaning. And the fourth is social and cultural context. Intertextuality reflects and comments on social, cultural, and political conditions by referencing other texts or has historical events. For example, is Marcus Zusek's The Book Thief. In this novel, the character Max van den Berg recolors the page of Hitler's Mein Kampf with his own story for Liesel. And the fifth is analysis and criticism tools. In literary studies, this serves to analyze how a text is influenced by, imitates, or contradicts its predecessor. For example, the novel Aroma Karsa by D. Lestari. For the analysis is D. Lestari combines Japanese mythology with a modern fictional narrative. This is not simply imitation, but rather reconstructing mythological elements to give the story new depth. And the sixth is reader empowerment. Invites active readers to recognize references and connect prior knowledge to the text being read. For example, is Seth Grahame-Smith's novel Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, which incorporates horror elements into Jane Austen's classic romance. And readers familiar with the original story will understand the social satire and humor of the combination of these two contrasting genres. And the next one is the purpose of intertextuality. The first one is transformation and recontextualization, is changing or providing a new context to an old text, hypertext, within a new text, hypertext. For example, the old text of the classic Cinderella fairy tale, the new text of the film Cinderella 2015, or other modern adaptation. And second is innovation and creativity. Encourage writers to play with existing meanings, subvert them, or reimagine them to create more innovative work. For example, Seth Grahame-Smith's novel Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, which incorporates horror elements into Jane Austen's classic romance. Readers familiar with the original story will understand the social satire and humor of the combination of these two contrasting genres. And third is reader empowerment. Encourage critical and knowledgeable readers to interpret the text more broadly, not just focusing on what is written. For example, the Harry Potter series, which references Greek mythology. The three-headed dog Fluffy is an allusion to Cerberus, the guardian of the underworld in Greek mythology. Readers with a knowledge of literature will understand that Fluffy is the guardian of valuables, increasing the story's depth and emotional or intellectual engagement. The fourth is historical and cultural reflection, preserving, revisiting, or critiquing or particular work of classical literature and culture through a modern lens. For example, is Pramudia Anantatur novel Gadis Pantai, the intertextually related to the history of Japanese feudalism. The fifth is thematic expansion, expanding the possibilities of a theme or storyline by integrating two or more textual references. For example, is a drama or novel script that combines the story of Semar Mencari Raga with elements of Larungan. The author does not just tell one story, but integrates the conflicts of both stories to explore the themes of false truth, power, Mr. Beckel, and spirituality in greater depths than the original story. Overall, intertextuality keeps literary works alive and evolving as each new text breathes new life into the previous ones. And the next is, how are the two, discourse and intertextuality, connected? Is discourse and intertextuality are connected through the idea that every text or discourse is formed from the text that precedes it. Intertextuality acts as a bridge connecting ideas, quotation, or allusion from one discourse to another, creating new meaning and deepening cultural or historical context. First is context or discourse. First, you have to know where you are. Are you in a scientific laboratory, or a church, or a YouTuber comment section, or maybe the discourse tells you the rules of that place. And the tools or intertextuality. Once you know the rules, you use intertextuality to construct your message. Use references, quotes, or styles that people will recognize in that specific discourse. And I will explain you about this image. The discourse or the environment from this image is, the entire image is political discourse. We see the flags, the stage, the formal suit, and the microphone. This setting tells the audience the words spoken here are intended to gain authority and persuade the public. The discourse gives the words their context. And the intertextuality or the references is, look at the words on the screen and in the speech bubbles, build a brighter future. That phrase is purely intertextual. It is not new. It has been used by hundreds of politicians before. The speaker is borrowing from the vast historical library of optimistic political promises. And that's it from our group. Thank you for listening. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.